Guys, we broke the mold and this is moving fast, especially now with the quality of content that we're creating. I just want to make a couple of points real quick and get on out of here. So we just started shop, and just to give you an idea of what it looks like on a particular page, if we come to a website here that we're setting up, there's one of very many, okay? And it's not finished yet. There are a number of things for us to do. But this would be like for a location, okay? And we can use it for the metro area. Obviously, the banners won't spin that fast or any weird thing. The individual topics, and this is going to be related to each of the pages in the menu to help people find themselves, find where they're going. And then otherwise, a lot of emphasis on the phone number. And then the next thing that we'll plug in will be the Google AdSense strip in here somewhere. And then finally down here, what we're going to be able to do is get a live chat going, because as soon as we get enough action in the background, we can show user actions. We can show the fact that we have a number of people who've come to the website, and we can show how engaged they are. So we can show what things are catching their attention, what things are important, and the fact that every single one of these is a true human, because bots cannot create the actions that we're tracking here. So if we're seeing 2 engagements for this, 2 engagements for that, 1 for this, 1 for that, this person's very engaged, right? Reach out to them kind of thing. And so here's the point. In the front end, there's going to be, live chat for each of these topics that can go to a lawyer, and that'll pay like $200 per lead. Every time a live chat turns into something like, you should contact Tom, call him at this number, I'll let him know you're calling now, right? That kind of thing. Or here's a form, fill it out and send it in. Anything like that is worth $200. Because it doesn't matter if they become a client or not. If we knew that was going to happen, we'd already be charging them like $1,000 instead of $200. Okay, but a lot of companies would rather pay $200 per and bank on the odds that they'll probably get a guy once every 3 or 4, rather than pay $1,000 to close a certain deal, but not have any wiggle room down on the cost. So that's a big deal. Here's something I want to point out. This is really, really important. Between somebody calling the phone number, good calls are $500, right? We'll make a point of having with the phone number, some here, the way we lay it out, is the conditions that apply to you when you go to call. So we'll figure out how to fit that in. That's just the kind of stuff we do, and so like if you hover over this, it'll have a pop-up that says, if these conditions apply to you. On a mobile, we'll have it operate a different way. Same down here, that kind of thing. And so when people are going through the site, and it's just amazing how much material. We've been building in internal links, cross links to the same pages as up here. Google loves that kind of thing. Okay, so we're going all out. Now here's the point I really want to make about it, because I can go through these, and these pages are coming live now. We're going to add the images in. Here's what I want to say. This matters a lot. About a year ago, when we set this project up for the first time, in the first few months, we got about 183 hits. Okay, now that was decryptions. That's physically where we were untangling who the humans were. But we didn't have anywhere to sell the leads at the time. We didn't have a phone number anybody was calling. What we were doing was trying to decrypt the leads and then pass the information on to guys in the area so that they could do something with it. That was very different. That was troublesome, and we were texting people. People weren't responding. Now we know why. We didn't know them. We did a lot of things there that had to do with getting leads ready, but it wasn't a finished process. Here's the point I want to make. 183 decrypted leads is like the equivalent of 360 real leads. And today we can reach them because we can do live chat as well. And also we're making the websites improve upon themselves, which is something we never did back then. The most we saw from any of these people is if they landed on a page, and then if they clicked on another one. And that's it. We weren't tracking anything else. We didn't have a way to do it. Now, not only are we tracking, but we're giving more ways to engage those people, and at the same time, the websites can make adjustments in order to track the conversions and scale upward on that. It's huge. And so let's do some dumb math here. Okay, and this is all with spin tax. Okay, so if we had something like the equivalent of 360 back then using spin tax, and we're redoing the whole thing with gripping content, it's going to be like 10 times as many visitors to the websites in the same number of months, okay? I just want to make this point this other way. Say it was 360. Most of the people who come to the website have a real need, right? Either they're going to qualify to call the phone number or they're not. They might have a question and try it on the live chat box. That may turn into a lead. If not, what do? They try going in different directions, so they hit the Google AdSense link. That's going to be really obvious and call out to them, right? So if you think about it, the average conversion value of a person coming to the page is going to be anywhere between 500 for a direct call, 200 to 400 for a click, and then 200 for a click down here on the live chat leading to something, right? And the way we're setting these pages up, we're attracting the right kind of people, so we have a real high throughput rate. So if you imagine that each one of those hits is worth an average of, say, 400, it's going to be slanted higher than average because most of the time people are going to qualify. When they do the search, they're probably going to qualify. So anyway, just to put numbers to this, it was like 360 minus how many? Like 40 that were out of place. Although, how do you get out of place from organic searches that have to do with car accidents? So I don't care. Say 300 times, average of like $400. Each would be at about 128K. And then say that happens in the course of what might have been 5 months, right? For the span of this project before SpinTech started to just lose power. It was 25,600 a month. Okay, so if you're getting your cut and we're getting ours, we're dividing by 2. That means that your cut could be like 12,800. Now, this canvassed about 3 metro areas, this particular project. Okay, and they were down south. So there's 3 areas down south, more or less hotspots, but not even researched. They're just kind of average areas, okay? So I just want to say with complete surprise, how easy it is to do stuff with this. And that was just car accidents. Now we're working in all the work-related accidents, dog bites, and premise-related accidents, like if you're renting a home and get hurt. So there's going to be a lot more demand. So let's say there's a factor of something like 1.4, whatever, is like the factor of increase because we're driving all these people into the site. Not only that, but when you create the topics, you get a bunch of subtopics and you create content for the subtopics and you create some extra topics, create content for that. We have never been able to do it in that wide array of topic of contacting people, tagging people through all of these different entrance points. So the fact that we're doing it now is huge. The fact that we're ranking higher is huge. These things can blow up. These things can become huge. So I'm reminding you right now how important it is to get in and get going right now. And if you're doing it still in the next, what have we got? Like day and a half. I'm sure I'll give some more time. Some people were asking me if they could have a little room to move cash around. If you need that, let me know. And so what do? You go to decryptmyleads.com, go to claim this position, get an accident attorney position. This is where you make a one-time payment to lock in. Okay? The county size, the population, is going to determine how much you got to pay. Now, that doesn't mean exactly that the higher the population, the greater the number of reasons, or the greater number of people who have a problem, right? I was teaching people, and I'll just do this one more time real fast, right? I just want to make sure you guys see it. So you can't say I didn't tell you, in case you're seeing this somehow for the first time. Your channel, God, I get a lot of stuff here on the work computer. Videos, okay. And I want to just point this out. Somewhere in here is like a 56-minute long video. Okay, it is a long one, but it's valuable. It's worth your time. Where is it? It's the one that was talking about how to choose. How to choose. Man, I've been creating a lot of videos, haven't I? I guess it's even further down. Oh, yeah, it is, because I was doing that too. How to Emoji evolution. The best affiliate program for you now, is that the one? Actually, I think it is the one because it's almost an hour, right? And what I was doing, if it's in this video, which I think it is. They can happen in urban areas, yes, it is. So this 56 minute video, you're going to want to watch it. And what it does is help you determine rapidly where the hottest spots are, the sweet spots for the lower population counts and the higher population counts. So you'll be able to look up like number of accidents per year that are work related, number of accidents per year that are car related, and you'll find hot spots and you'll say, ooh, I'm going there, right? That way you can choose something that's a hot spot for you, whatever it is. Okay. Then when you get it, yeah, it costs a chunk until you go back and do the math again, right? That's the whole reason I wanted to break this out. What does it take to break even on that? Even if you said, okay, and here's the thing, you're in the program until we can get you 10 times back in a year. So I don't care if you want to use that as your marker, 4 times over or 5 times over, but whatever you want to use as the marker, 31,440 divided by, let's say, how many actions does it take? How many payouts? So, you know, $400 each. Takes like 79, okay? So if we've got 365 days divided by 365, then that means we need like 1 person a week, right? It's like 5 days, right? In between a conversion in your territory to make 10 times the money back if we were paying you all of it. Now, it's going to take more because we need our share too. So this math actually works for 5 times over on your money. So you would need to multiply by 2. But what do you have? Every other day even. So do you think that we can create 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more websites, you know, websites that are bringing people in for motorcycle accidents, bus accidents, truck accidents, car accidents, work-related accidents. We'll put this stuff into services with a drop-down, things like that, services with drop-down, and we'll just keep creating more content that go after every different kind of accident. What do you think is going to happen? We're going to get a lot. We're going to get a lot of attention in every location, and we're not having to pay per ad. No, this is organic traffic. So it's just like this, but it's way, way more. Again, this is like half of the real traffic. There was like 360 in that span of like 5 months. And doing that with Spintax back then, we'll get over 3,000 now, especially in a year, easily in a year, with the angle we're taking, you know, location by location. The only thing that really changes that is what is the population, right? Obviously, if you have a much higher population area, yes, it costs more. Somebody has that one. Clark, Nevada. If you get one, though, you're spending a lot more. But if you do, can you imagine? I mean, how many people are coming per day? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 per day, you know, that we can capture, right? And we're going to get an action from most of them. It's a lot of money. So let me be clear. I'm not trying to put a crystal ball up and say, I see the future. We're going to make a ton of money like this. And I'm not saying that we're going to make a lot of money like in the old days when we had projects that almost did it, but they didn't do everything necessary to pull it off. We had a locksmith dispatch project that didn't pan out. It was bigger than we were expecting. We didn't get it right. But here's what's different now from the things of the past. We are past all of the problems. We make incredible websites on incredible servers. We absolutely get traffic to them, but what we're doing now is tracking them. We know who the humans are, how engaged they are, and instead of us trying to go out and solicit guys who want the leads or text them and see if we can get over their suspicions or their confusions or their worries about whether the leads are any good, what do? We plug into the system that already provides that for us. Offer Vault, for example. There are a lot of these things. There are a lot of people that pop up and say, please send me calls. Please get people to me. please, I will set you up with your private number. I will set you up with your dashboard. You can log in and see everything that's happening. And I had somebody say, what if you still don't trust them when they give you your phone number in the dashboard? What if you still don't trust them? Well, that's simple. We go somewhere else, like call tracking metrics or wildfire. There's so many of these things. And we get in this account, there's accounts. We get in here, we create a phone number and we assign it. We have it forward to the phone number they give us. So now, not only are they recording the calls here so that we can see the stats on the calls and listen to them, that's like a line of MP4s, right? Date timestamp saying how long the call was in seconds or minutes. And it's got a clickable link where you can sit here and listen to the call, literally how the whole call went. I know it's other people's business, but you could care less. You're in it for the money. You're not in it because you personally care about anyone's tragedy. I don't, you don't. You mostly are thinking, you poor guy. But the fact of the matter is that's the proof that the whole industry uses about whether the call was decent or not. And so when you come in and you get a phone number like this, you're recording the call too. So you record every call in parallel to their recording. And it's cheap. It's like $1.50 a month for a phone number. And then like part of a penny for a minute of recording. And so the reason to do that is what? To ensure that they're being honest, right? And just to make sure that all of this is working out. If any one of these guys was not being honest, first, I kind of threaten them to straighten that out because I'd rather they were just honest. And then if anyone's still not being honest, I'm going to go with one of the other guys. So that's going to really throw them off, teeter-tot style, right? One thing companies hate are competitors. And so if you're saying, I'm going to take the leads I was sending you away, but I'm also going to add them to your competitor, that tips the seesaw twice. If you take 50 clients from them, that's a loss. But if you give those 50 clients to another competitor, it's a double whammy. They're down 50, they're up 50. It's a differential of 100. Huge effect, right? So there you go. We want to make sure to keep honest people honest so we can get more people into the game. And if we have to or wish to, we could even cycle through the phone numbers, right? We can literally use a cycling routine that cycles through the phone numbers. Or we can just assign them to different pages, okay? And then see who's paying the best. And then swap to that guy. That's easy. Okay, now what's my other point? Going to beat all that? If you're doing that in the, the next, day and a half, and let me know if you're running late, okay? Let me know if you're running late. Then no matter what position you got here, another industry that's just like that is what? If I come back and look, addiction treatment, paid per call, $500. And guess what? There's Google AdSense clicks that also pay a lot for addiction treatment. And that's because these are high ticket items and there's a lot of competition. Okay. So we are going to give you an equivalent package, okay, equivalent size population for addiction recovery so that you can earn from both of those streams in parallel at the exact same time. That spreads your portfolio without you having to pay the extra amount of money. Right now, that's the benefit and the bonus. If you get this one, you're helping us build this thing up. It's going to create so much cash. We're going to do everything we want anyway. But if you're helping us build this up right now, which is great that you do that. And it's great for you. It's great for us. That's why we're saying be that angel investor for the project you want. And you're going to keep 50% of the proceeds from that, the revenue, the profit that comes off of that. And it's huge. When you do the math, it's insane. We're going to give you an addiction recovery position too. Okay? That's a very short-term deal right now. It's helping us kick these projects off. It's helping us line them up and get them moving at full speed. Because now that we're this far along and the content is this hot, not even, okay, it was about 24 hours ago. I was actually on the phone with somebody this time of night. And I checked my phone. At one point, I got an email, and I thought, what's that? And guess what it said? It said that there's another iteration of the engine. That's what I showed you in the last video. It's something like 11 o'clock at night, I guess, for me. And I put out a video and I explained it. It may have been a couple hours earlier. I explained this is a better engine. And you know what? It is a better engine. We've been using it and we are absolutely blown away. It writes faster. It writes more at one time. So instead of 45 seconds for a page, it's more like 25 seconds for a page. So that's great. Instead of running 5 instances in parallel creates a page once every 5 seconds. It's 5 instances in parallel creates a page once every, it creates a page once every 9 seconds. Now it's creating a page once every 5 seconds. It's almost twice as fast just without us even strategizing around it. And so it's writing better content faster, and we can use that for more iterations at one time, and it does larger blocks of content at one time, which means it stays put, it stays on the right path a lot more easily without straying. So it needs less fact checking. This is so cool. All right, so yeah, you're helping us kick these things off. We're gonna make tons of these, okay? A bunch are going to be assigned to you. They're going to be websites that we manage on your behalf. And every time somebody calls that number and it turns into a good lead, you're getting like $250. Every time somebody scrolls down and they hit a Google AdSense link, and it could be the same person who called the number for $500 to us, also hits an AdSense link that could pay $400 again. So you could make $450 off those 2 actions. One where this company's paying the money, the other where another company paid for the click. And it doesn't matter if they become actual clients at all, okay? And then that's who Google, they're paying. So when we do our payouts to you guys, we're gonna do this monthly. Here's the inside of every one of the accounts. Here's what they made. Here's the part that has to do with you, okay? Here's your payout. And because in your position section in Decrypt My Leads, right? You're logged in. When you log in as a position holder, right? Because that's what you do. Log in as a position holder. Remember me. Log in. Then you've got a section there where you can put your PayPal for payouts. What we're going to wind up doing soon, of course, is adding other payout methods. So if you want payout by Venmo, if you need a payout some other way, then we're going to be able to put that together as we go. Okay? All right, guys, get in and push this up. I don't know any other way to say it then. We're at a point where the quality is incredible. Our Achilles heel was always spin text like everyone else. So you always have to rely on every other score. GT metric, structure and performance, minified code, everything else. Well, we have that. So now that we have that mastered and on Amazon cloud servers, powerful, fast page loading style stuff, we're creating the best content out there too. We're just going to rake it in. And we can do that en masse, but even more importantly, we can track. So we know what the users are doing. We know who's real, who's engaged. We can justify it. The next time anyone ever says, hey, I'm willing to buy leads off of you, like these leads, okay? There could easily be a guy in an area says, okay, 60 apply to me. I'll pay you $200 for the 60, you know, or per those guys. So that would be like $12,000 for 60 leads. A guy would pay that, but he wants to know something. How engaged are they? You know, how can I tell if they're human? Well, that's what we're doing now. We're making sure that everybody we capture, we track their actions and we label their engagements so we can physically tell who's engaged and who's not. We can have simple downloadable reports for that kind of thing. And we can have simple rules with the guys who want to buy the leads based on the location of the user, because we can track that right down to the city. If I were to go into here, this particular guy came out of the Los Angeles, California area, a city called Willits. That is trackable to a location, and we know that. And we know if that user was engaged or not. It says engagement score of 0, But that's because this guy watched a YouTube video that we did not put an engagement score on. But of course, when we do these, as we get these projects finished, we're going to add scores to all these things that are worthy of capturing engagement scores on, so we can let people know they're engaged, right? So yeah, we just need to finish putting the rules in place. That's all. Under all actions, we go in here, and for each of the pages, for each of the themes, we go in there and we decide what all the goals are supposed to be for all the different things that happen. See that? YouTube videos have no engagement scores, so we just fix that, right? I'm expecting at least 15% of the people to land on the page to click on that link, okay? And so that way my website can start to track whether that's happening or not. I expect this is a stronger video. I expect more like 25% to watch that one, okay? And so literally by just doing that, my website knows what the most important actions are supposed to be. So my website gets to take and make logical decisions of its own to help me accomplish that goal without me having to come in here and measure. Okay? I'll just tell it, check every 25 people. That's your frequency of analysis. Okay? Do the math on those 25 and make the next logical change in your sequence, and then track again. See if that beats that. If not, make a third change and track that. But do you know what? Pretty soon we'll be getting guys like this to the sites, to the pages, every few days. So this analysis will be like 2 or 3 times a week, okay? Where it's just bettering itself. The website will make itself more profitable. Without anyone touching it, it will make itself more profitable, objectively. That's the purpose of setting the goals and letting the website track and adjust to handle up on the goals. The website will learn how, okay? I don't know what to say. So then when Google comes back and checks whether anyone's touched the website in a while, has anyone done anything new with the website? The answer is, why, yes, they actually have. You know, and that's the whole point, right? They have indeed. Because there will be changes to the website. Sections will move around, videos will swap out, clickable links will say different things. We can have different colors appear if we wanted. We can have different fonts appear to test, although that's going a little insane. We can flip sections off. They get here and this just never made sense to anyone. They always stop and leave. That's called exit. User exits. If we find that users typically exit on a certain section, on a certain page, we just see it over and over and over again, you know what we're going to do? Let the website decide it's time to flip it off. First, the website will push it down and pull something else up. And then it'll push it down even further and pull something else up if it's still an exit module. But if it keeps pushing it down and it keeps turning people off no matter where it hits, then the website will just turn it off. You know another thing? These testimonials are really, really cool. And we auto-generated them, which, as long as they represent what's being offered, is perfectly legitimate. So what do we do anyway? We present these websites to the guys here, the guys who run these programs, for approval. And when they say, oh, wow, your website's awesome, please create a terms link in the footer or a privacy link in the footer or a disclaimer in the footer. And on that page that you create, explain that you're not really part of, this isn't really a lawyer, etc. Or we'll just put another section here, a lot like this one, that just says, we are not an actual legal site of our own. We are just presenting attorneys. We're trying to match you to attorneys in your area by you calling the number. So we'll have the little bit of disclaimer in there, wherever they tell us. And guess what? They will give us the phone number and the dashboard, and we got traffic coming to the sites. It won't take any time. And we can also track them with our own phone number if we want. And that's not even an issue. So the beauty is getting to listen in on those calls. You know what's funny? Even if they're touching, say, I don't know if I can let a bunch of people log into the same dashboard. Maybe one or another guy does that. That might freak them out a little, but we don't need to care because this is cheap. So we'll hook this up at our level personally, and you'll get to listen to all those calls. that come in through that phone number. In other words, this right here would be the phone number that you're logging in and listening to the recordings on. It's your phone number for your leads that come in through the phone. Okay? And then for Google AdSense, I'm going to produce whatever that report is every month that Google AdSense is giving. I don't know if you can log into it, but you can watch me. I can do a video live where I'm logging into Google AdSense and the page is just loading up and here's all the stuff, right? And it's talking about how much we made and where those are. And you'll just be able to calculate right then and there your half of that money. How's that? And then for the idea of the live chat, which will feed in as we prove our point on user actions, right? User actions. And we prove our point on engagements for these guys. Like any one of these guys, if we look, I got to do summary engagements. There's two engagements, 1 and 1 by a single user, okay? And so you couldn't see that from the summary page, so I need to update that. But it's like 5 engagements from that user should turn into a sale, that kind of thing. Or at least a solid lead, the one that turns into a sale for us, okay? You and me. And so the point is, this stuff gets to be transparent. When we do the addiction centers, it'll be the same thing, the login, and it'll be the same thing for the Google AdSense. It'll be the same thing for this kind of a live chat box that'll be down here, okay? See that? It's a live chat box, right? There's going to be this on the websites that are for you, right? You're not having to do the work. How's that for cool? But the point I want to make, somebody's working on the side that flipped off the banner. The point I want to make is this. Every month we assess and we do payouts. And I am in a rush to get you paid out 10 times over to get you out of the project, which is good for you. And if I fail to hit it, however much I could get you, which is whatever comes out of that breakdown each month, is what I can get you. And if it's not 10 times over by the end of a year, you get another year of free ride on that project, which that's on me, right? And the only reason I feel good talking about being able to do numbers like that is because it's so screaming obvious over and over again how that money happens. It's not confusing anymore. We're clear. We know what it takes. We know what it takes. We know what it takes. And the live chats are simple. You know how many lawyers, even the ones that are here, would be willing to also pay for any live chats where somebody comes through this? We could offer to the same guy. We could offer to a competitor. We could offer to somebody else locally, totally outside of this entire program. Okay? I don't know what to say. Yeah, so it's just a tremendous amount of power. So anyway, all I want to say is lock yourself in and just go as high as you feel safe going, but certainly consider the power of it, right? If you can handle something like this, go for it because you lock yourself in at this level. And that allows us to just do more counties in parallel so that we get these numbers up all around, right? And they're doing other things, calling the phone number, clicking the link, doing the live chat, and it's for more and more areas in parallel. But like I say, now's your double whammy. Not only could you say, well, maybe I could come in here, or maybe I could come in lower. It's got to be at least 1,500. And you say, maybe I can come in here and I'll get the double whammy of the addiction centers. Yes, that's true. Just think about the power of what it means to get locked in at 10 times over before we can get you out. So you want it quick. We can get it to you quick this way. We can get it to you even quicker if we throw that in as well. And the faster you can cycle through 10 times over on your money, the faster you can cycle back in for as long as we keep the program open. And we'll keep it open for quite a while because you see how many industries we want to build into. We want to just raise the money to build into all these, but it's going to cost like $1.5 million. If we try to go nationwide with content for every one of these and set them up and make them profitable, we're talking about some number of millions for us to be able to pull all that off for all of the major metro areas. That's why we need you. You guys are kicking us off so that we can rev this engine up. And it'll take a while before this engine's even close to saturated. And frankly, I don't know what you call saturated. If there are 87 industries, I think, are here, and there are like, what, 250 major metro areas here, that's 250 times 87 profit centers to earn from. It's just the ones that are the coolest right now are exactly these top two. Okay? All right, there you go. I've said my piece. I'm just going to break off now and say, I hope to see you on the inside. I would lock and load as soon as you can. If you have trouble getting it done between now and the next 36 hours, say, shoot me an email, give me a call, leave me a voicemail, whatever. Just say, hey, Dave, give me some time. I'm coming, okay? Give me a little time. I'm getting it together. All right, just let me know. Let me know what position you're aiming for and what you're trying to do to make it happen. All right, there you go. I'm really excited to get this stuff going for you guys. Okay, talk to you soon.